What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy that you decided to stop by today. My name is Leah. I'm a notary and a loan signing agent, amongst other things, and that is what my channel is all about. But today I thought I was going to just bring you guys a quick story time. Like I told you guys before, I'm committed to tell you the good, the bad, and even the ugly in this loan signing agent business. So I hope no one takes this the wrong way, but this is just simply meant to tell you guys things that actually do happen, and just so like you can kind of like be prepared, not freaked out, but just prepared, because it's nothing crazy, but you know. Anyway, I'm babbling. So today's video is in collaboration with Kel'a. Oh my God, y'all, I love her channel. She is a notary signing agent. She's in Ohio. She's so sweet. Like, we've been chatting and stuff like that, and I've really been enjoying her channel. I enjoy her conversations. I think she is wonderful, and y'all, she is on fire. She's like doing so good up there with her business. So she definitely is one to follow. So I'm going to link her channel down below. And if you want to check her channel out, she is going to be filming a very similar video. She's going to be doing kind of like a story time video too today. And make sure that you watch it after you finish watching this video. So I just wanted to like I said, just kind of like bring y'all a quick story time, because some odd things sometimes do actually happen. So let's just jump into it. Let me tell you all about it. Okay, so I got a signing request, and it was a signing request just like a couple of hours before the signing. I think it was just a handful of hours before the signing. I accepted the request. I secured my witness, you know, did all that lovely stuff that you need to do if the signing calls for it. I confirmed with the signer, and everything was really good. You know, he seemed nice. He seemed really friendly over the phone. And I'm like, okay, cool. So y'all, I made a huge mistake. Oh my God, I'm just so embarrassed to even tell y'all what I did. But I made a huge mistake. Like, the signing was so simple that I oversimplified it. But you know what? Matter of fact, I posted a video. I just posted a video, as a matter of fact. I just posted a video. I'll link it like right up here just in case you haven't seen it. And it was that very signing. So there was a little bit confusion with the signing. And two, like, I was kind of like all over the place that day because of the fact that my hot water heater started leaking. So my hot water heater, was just like leaking water. It was nothing crazy. It wasn't like pouring water. There was no flood, but it was in my basement. And fortunately, there was no damage there was no damage. Of course, like, I had to come out of my pocket. I think like the expense for the hot water heater in my area, like, plumbers were charging anywhere between, I got a quote, the cheapest quote was like $1,200. And the most expensive quote was, I think, like $1,900. So that was the range. And I wasn't ready to buy a hot water heater, but I had to. So just to kind of give you a tiny bit of backstory, like, the plumber was actually in my house when I was printing the documents and getting prepared to go to the signing and stuff like that. So no excuse whatsoever. But let me tell you what I did. So I was like, okay, great. I got my signing secured. This was a last minute signing. Let me just go ahead and, you know, head off to the signing. Honey, I got in my car, got to the signing and everything like that. And y'all, I did not have the paperwork. I was like, are you serious? Like, 8 whole pages. How did I leave 8 whole pages right there at home? I was just like so embarrassed, y'all. I was so embarrassed because my witness was actually someone in my one-on-one coaching session. But you know what, y'all? Like, I got over that embarrassment real quick because I'm all about the business. I'm all about getting down to it. And I don't like sulk and mistakes that I made. I just pick up and keep it moving. You know, I'm like, okay, how do we fix this? Like, that is how I am in life in general. Like, I don't, you know, stay down, and I don't, you know, just constantly worry about what's happening and what I did wrong, and don't be beating myself up about it, because it's kind of like, look, I am only human. I could apologize for my mistakes, and hopefully, you know, the person will accept my apology. So that's just kind of how I view things. So that's what I did. I was like, oh my goodness, you know, I don't see these documents anywhere. I am so sorry. I'm telling the borrower, like, I don't be making up lies or nothing like that. That's just too messy for me. That's just way too tangly for me. So giving you all this backstory about my mistake because it's an intricate part of the story. But basically, I picked up the phone and, I called my daughter and I was like, hey, could you go in my office and tell me if you see some paperwork on my desk and, let me know what that paperwork says. And my daughter, she's actually a notary too. And I would have gotten her to go on the signing with me, but somebody needed to stay at my house since the plumber was in the basement. So therefore I got another witness. So anyway, she's like, yeah, Mom, it says XYZ document, da, da, da. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I know that the signer is not very far from where I live. He might have been, 10 or 15 minutes away, but a couple of factors played into my next move. Number one, the witness was there and I wasn't sure at the time. I thought that somebody was waiting for her in her vehicle, but I didn't want to complicate things. So I was like, okay, so that's the first factor. So number two, I didn't want to mess up the potential relationship that I could form with this new company because of the simple fact that, it was like, I've never worked for them before and this is a major mess up. Like, how did I screw up this badly? This is a major mess up, It's like, how did I leave the documents right there at home? And I know how I left the documents right there at home. It was, since it's story time, I'll tell y'all. I went down to my basement and I was, ready to pay the plumber. I was like, look, I have to go to work. I was like, so I'm about to leave right now. So let me go ahead and pay the invoice before I leave, so I could just pay him. And so he didn't have to actually install all the work and leave my house without being paid yet. Like, I don't like stuff like that. So he's like, okay, the price is X amount of dollars. And I was like, but that's not what we talked about over the phone. So I was downstairs trying to get a whole bunch of clarification and I was really running late for the assignment. I actually like to be at the assignments before time. And like, I kept talking back and forth with him about the pay, which is a whole nother confusing story. But long story short, I end up getting the invoice paid and, I headed out on my way. So I grabbed my notary bag and left out the door and left the paperwork like right there. Crazy. I know, crazy. But that's what I did. So anyway, my daughter volunteers to bring the paperwork to me. So I was like, okay, yes, please bring it to me. She already had the address of where I was because that's just my safety protocol. I, let her know where I am when I go on signings. That's just the way we do things. So if you want some more tips on safety, I will link the video in the cards above, like just giving you guys some of my safety tips that I use each and every time I do a signing. So of course I talked to the borrower. I was like, look, I'm so sorry about that. I really do apologize. So he was really nice and he was understanding and he just started talking about like some of the experiences that he's had since living in Georgia. So I learned that he was from up north. And, like I'm originally from up north too. So, I was like, oh, okay, it was an adjustment with me moving here, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But I was a child when I moved down south. Unlike him, he's an adult. So he was nice and everything. He starts talking to me about like the food he cooked for dinner. He pulls out his phone. He's showing me and my witness like all the food that he cooked. It looks really amazing, like I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good. You did an excellent job. And we're just casually chatting and stuff like that. So then he just starts talking about like how he rents out each room in his house. He was telling me these crazy stories of things that happen in his house and he's so comfortable in his storytelling that he's just using like all kind of profanity, just like telling me all this stuff of, things that happened in his house and how he handled the situation, and his method of handling the situations was insane. Like none of it made any sense. And I'm like, you know what? This is why you have financial literacy. This is why you save your money. This is why you tell yourself no, so that you don't have to become living with some random man, So for instance, one of the stories that he was telling me is he, has like a couple who live in the house and they pay a lot of money. To me, a lot of money. I think like $950 a month for a master bedroom and a bathroom and a house to be shared with like, I think 3 other individuals, which is insane to me because we live in Georgia. Housing is very affordable and $950 can get you something. It can get you a 1-bedroom apartment. It may not be like in the area that you desire, but you definitely could get a 1-bedroom apartment for $950 per month. So basically the homeowner is living there too. And he's just telling us how like he gets up in the morning and walks in his drawers in the kitchen, and he's like, you know, like that's just what he does. He cooks his food and he walks in his underwear around the house. And so naturally the husband approached him and he says, hey man, you know, like, you know, we enjoy living here and so on and so forth. He's like, but I'm not comfortable with you walking around in your underwear in the house. So basically the homeowner, the signer, responds by cussing him out and telling him, look, I can do what I want. This is my house. And matter of fact, y'all can leave. I'm tired of y'all, and so on and so forth. Just real crazy. So, okay, like we're still waiting on my daughter to get here with the paperwork so that we could begin signing. So, you know, like his house was not nice. Like his house was not nothing desirable. I mean, it looked like it could be something if you fix it up. It wasn't raggedy, but it wasn't nice either. So, you know, he was just talking about all of the updates and the repairs that he did, and I couldn't tell. And I got an eye for stuff like that because that's the industry that I work in outside of loan signing. So I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, telling me how he paid $900 for a ceiling fan, and, you know, legit, y'all, the ceiling fan was like $100 at Lowe's, you know, no lie, no exaggeration. And, you know, it's okay that you have $100 ceiling fan at Lowe's. I have them too. That's not a big deal, but you know, you're just like really gassing things up. You're really like inflating what you did in the house. You're really inflating a lot of stuff about the house. It was a little bit too much. So anyway, I was like, you know, okay, yeah, it's just being friendly, just talking, because after all, it's my fault why I'm still at that house. Like this signing should have been just a couple of minutes, but this signing ended up taking longer because my daughter had to get the papers. She had to drive about 15 minutes, and then we had to go through the signing, and that's outside of, you know, any questions that he may have had. So already I was in a 15-minute deficit because of my own fault. So then he's like, after he shows us all these pictures of his food and stuff like that, then he's like, yeah, I did a lot of work in my basement. And I was like, okay, that's really good. You know, that's nice, you know? And he's like, you want to come down to my basement? Why? Why would I want to come in his basement? How does that benefit me? What do I care? Like, it wasn't that I was so into the work that he did in his house. His house wasn't even nice, like I said before. I didn't see any recent improvements in the house, so I wasn't impressed with the upstairs. So what would fix your mouth to ask me if I want to come in your basement? So I just said no. And y'all, if y'all would have saw the look on his face, and funny too. So the witness, my witness for the signing, the look on her face, she looked a little bit relieved that I was like, no, just flat out no. Like there's no nice way of putting it. It's like, what business do I have going into your basement? None. So anyway, he looked really surprised that my answer was like that. And he was like, well, I mean, it's really nice down there. But why? You know, like, why? So he was like, but my basement is really nice. I mean, I have a mini bar down there. I mean, I got drinks and stuff like that. So, okay, now I'm supposed to be drinking with you? Well, show me pictures. Let me see your photos of it. You know, just trying to be nice. And he was like, I don't have any. And I thought that was so weird. You just showed me like 10 photos of food that you cooked earlier that evening, but you didn't have any pictures of your basement. I thought that was really, really strange, y'all. Am I overreacting? Do I just watch too much crime TV? Like, let me know. Let me know, what do you think? Am I overreacting? I don't think that I was. So when you are out here doing these signings and stuff like this is common sense, right? People ask you, hey, you want to go look at my backyard? Hey, you want to do this? Hey, you want to do that? I mean, why? What's the point? You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for being friendly, but you have to, you know, keep your senses. You have to exercise precaution and things like that. So that's why I was like, no, a firm no, a hard no. So I ended up like getting the paperwork. I went outside, got the paperwork, came back inside, did the signing with him, and he had a lot of questions and stuff like that. And he kept asking me like, where's my money? Where's my money? aren't you going to give me the money right now? Like, because he was getting cash out. But it was like, no, you signed this payment letter. And the payment letter says how you want your funds to come to you. You know, if you want your funds via wire, via ACH deposit, like that's what the purpose of that letter was for. So we left out of the house and everything. And shortly after we left out of the house, he ended up calling his contact, the company that gave us the signing. And he followed us outside and he was like, hey, there's something missing here. And my witness was heading to her car. I was headed to my car. I just said to her in a low voice, I was like, come back inside with me, please. So she was like, okay. So we went back inside and I ended up talking to the representative of the company. And she basically wanted to just double check to make sure that everything was correct, because of the fact that the documents, if the documents were incorrect, it would hold up his money, which he was ultimately interested in. If you make the wrong decisions when you're out doing loan signing jobs, it could really end not so favorably. So for me, it's just a funny story, but it's kind of like what was in your basement, you know, I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think? Tell me what you think. Maybe I've watched too much Law and Order. Maybe I've watched too much Criminal Minds. Y'all tell me, what do you guys think about that? Am I overreacting, or do you think that is completely normal to ask a random stranger to come in the basement? But anyway, guys, that is it for my story time. Be sure to go check out Kel'a's channel. If she resonates with you, make sure you subscribe. She is beautiful. She's really smart. She's very funny. And she also is a loan signing agent that is making bank in this business. So she is definitely one to subscribe to and one to engage with. I really appreciate you watching my video today. Please be sure to give me a big thumbs up. Leave a comment below and let me know, am I tripping? Am I tripping? Am I overreacting? You guys let me know. And I will see you guys in the next upload. Bye.